This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Good morning and thank you very much for being with us on UBC TV. Welcome to the Extra. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Now, something that I'm going to be discussing this morning, a very interesting topic. I know many of us have heard of the Ministry of East African Affairs. Now, what it handles is the East African community. So much therein. I'm not the best person actually to explain so much of their mandate, their roles, but I have the Under Secretary of the Ministry of East African Affairs Community, and he is with me. That is Kaima Godfrey, with whom we are going to be discussing so much that you need to know as a Ugandan, and above all, why you should be concerned when it comes to these issues. Now, join me wherever you are. Welcome, my guest. You're most welcome to the studios.
Thank you, my host. Thank you, our viewers. Now,
to start with, when we talk about the Ministry of East African Affairs, to an ordinary Ugandan watching this show this morning, would love to know what is the mandate of this ministry and why would it even be a concern to them?
Thank you so much, our viewers and my host. The Ministry of East African Community Affairs has a mandate under the Treaty for Establishment of the East African Community. We are responsible to steer Uganda's integration agenda. The East African Community Affairs is made up of 8 partner states. That's Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Somalia, and South Sudan. These 8 partner states have signed a treaty, which I have talked about, the Treaty for Establishment of the East African Community Affairs, where they agree to cooperate on a number of issues. Under it, generally, there are 4 pillars. We have the Customs Union, we have the Common Market, we have the Monetary Union, and the Political Confederation. So they have agreed to cooperate along with those 4 pillars. But I think this is in recognition of the fact that the people of East Africa are one, so they need to work as one to further their interests.
Now that explains why in broadcast you no longer say East African Standard Time. If you were to the 8 countries that he mentioned, time zones differ. So if you're a broadcaster there, East African Standard Time ceased to be when we had our colleagues like Somalia, where we changed time zones, so we can't have the same. Now let's look at the internal systems and accountability of the ministry.
Thank you so much again. Like you did introduce me, I'm Under Secretary. Under Secretary is responsible for the function of finance and administration. Generally, we call it a support service. We do support the other technical departments to do their own work. Generally, the mandates of the department can be broken into, we support in regard to ensuring that the departments are facilitated with the resources to do their work. We do the planning function, we coordinate the planning function of the ministry. We coordinate the human resource. We do monitoring and evaluation. We do procurement, which helps to provide their required logistics. We provide even office space. So as the finance and administration, we ensure that we resource the departments in terms of finances, in terms of assets, in terms of logistics to do their work. But at the same time, we have a responsibility to ensure that we further the accountability processes of the ministry. The resources that have been provided, they are duly accounted for, and they ensure that they go towards the activities for which they were meant to go to.
Now, you've talked about finances. We're going to talk about the East African, the Ministry of East African Affairs, East African Community Affairs. One person would think that looking at the 8 member states, is this funded by government of Uganda? Do we get a subscription from member states to run some of these affairs? Please throw in some light, Undersecretary.
The partners do contribute funding on an annual basis to ensure that there is the Secretariat operates optimally. We have the East African Community Affairs Secretariat, which is based in Arusha. So this is the arm that is responsible for ensuring, for coordinating implementation of all the activities of the member states, across the member states. So each partner state contributes. Hitherto, we have been contributing on equal basis. All the eight partner states have been contributing equally. But there was a summit which took place in March. A summit is the meeting of the heads of states, which took place in March, and they amended the financing formula to the effect that some other partner states now contribute more depending on the strength of their economies. And so 50% of what have been contributing on equal basis, then 50% assessed contribution based on the strength of the economies.
The more stronger your economy, the more you're contributing towards that.
Yes.
Now, one would also want to know, the ordinary Ugandan, where do they stand to benefit within this whole thing of even having a ministry well facilitated by government, or muntu wabujo, if I may use that term? They will want to know, how does this affect them? How does this concern them? You know, what is there for them? Because there are some ministries that are very clear. When you talk about Ministry of Health, that is about life. You know, you talk about agriculture. But this broader thing.
Moderator, first of all, there is a benefit in the numbers and associating. You realize that the combined population of the ESC, the partner states, is over 200 million people. In itself, that's a strength that as a people of East African community, we are stronger when we are together, when we work together. In terms of trading, in terms of security, and in terms of ensuring that we work together. But also, you may need to note that some of these borders were arbitrarily determined by the colonialists. It's common to find that we have Samyas in Uganda and in Kenya. We have Kalenjins in Uganda and Kenya. We have, so all these. So when people come together, these are common people originally, so they come together to associate. But also, under the pillars which I have talked about the common market for research, which recognizes that you are free to trade across the other country without any hindrance, because it's now one border. It's one now regarded as one country. So as a common person, you are free to carry your goods across the border to Kenya, to Tanzania, you sell. So you have a widened market. And as Minister of East African Community Affairs, we normally organize what we call annual trade fairs for small and medium enterprises, where we organize traders. They can have exhibitions. Last year it was in Nairobi. I think this time it's going to be in Rwanda. So we organize traders. They go to these exhibitions or trade fairs, and there they hook up opportunities. People are able to find out that there is this product which we didn't know it exists in Uganda, but it's now there. And people have been able to to improve their businesses, to grow their markets. But also now you can go to Kenya and get a job with the similar qualifications. You don't need now to go to Kenya to be accredited and all this, because now there is this recognition that the skills which are here can still apply in Kenya, in Tanzania, in another country. So as a people of Uganda, there's a lot of benefit. But I think you also note that now we don't need a visa to go to Kenya, to Tanzania. We use the East African passport. Now you don't need a visa. You just board a plane or a bus and you go. Because they recognize that you're one person. You're an East African. So there are a lot of these opportunities. So why is the Minister of East Africa there? The Minister of East Africa is there to coordinate this and to ensure that the people of Uganda, for instance, are made aware about these opportunities which are available, so that they can be in position to take advantage of these opportunities. You know, information is power. So this is why, partly the reason why I'm here in the studios this morning, to talk about what we do, so that people can be able to get information. They take advantage of the opportunities that are available, so that at the end of the day we can grow our trade, we can grow our businesses, and we grow as an economy.
Well, thank you for letting the Ugandan know that there are so many opportunities for them. The question is, are they as they should be? Do we have free movement of goods and services and people across within this community? Under Secretary, is it very possible for Ugandan? How easy is it for them? Because you may sign these treaties, they may be on paper, but in real sense, are they applicable? Are they practically working?
Moderator, I want to give you my personal confession that I've traveled across all these East African Community Affairs partner states and without a visa. Have traveled. And I want to believe that even you must have traveled visa free. So that's not on paper, it's a demonstration that this thing is working. You have talked about trade, the free movement of goods. Of course, I know that we still have some barriers, but that's the reason why this ministry is existing. Because, you know, it's a territorial thing. You know, as I said, the borders were arbitrarily determined. Kenya, Uganda, and all this. And they are states on their own. They're independent countries. They have their own laws. But since they signed the treaty, they have been able to concede, to say we need to remove the non-tax barriers so that they are free movement of goods across. So these ministries are there. It's not only in Uganda where you have this ministry, even in Kenya they have, even in Tanzania they have. So that when there are issues of barriers, trade barriers, then it's discussed, it's brought on the table, it's discussed and it's resolved. And a number of them have been resolved. So where there is any issue, it's always resolved. And at the end of the day, they are seamless operations.
Now, let's look at Uganda at the chairmanship of this council. And of course, you're represented very well by the Right Honorable Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga. What does this mean to us as a country and the community?
I will not begin with the council. I think I'll begin with the summit. Like I've said, the summit is the meeting of the heads of states where they all meet. And now our president, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is the chair of the summit. In other words, is the president of East African Community Partner States as we talk. And then, of course, now what it all means is that all meetings down from the top up to another engagement is chaired by Uganda. So that's what they call the chairmanship. So that's why now we have Right Honorable Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga as the chair of the council. The council is the meeting of the ministers. And when you talk about the ministers, we are not only talking about the ministers of East African Community Affairs, because integration is taking place in so many spaces. It's taking place in terms of harmonization of standards. It's taking place in terms of across education issues. It's taking place across health issues, across financing and financial issues. Integration is taking place in so many spaces. So when you talk about the Council of Ministers, we have a number of stakeholders, ministries that represent Uganda in the Council. Of course, justice is one of them, finance is one of them, trade is key, health is key, education, and many others. So each partner state has those ministers. So when they sit for a meeting, which we call the Council now, Uganda is the chair. So our minister now takes on the chair of the Council. So your question was, what is in it? You may need to recall that the first proponents of the ESC integration was Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Then other partner states have been joining as time gets along. So Uganda, being the chair, is taking center stage, in other words, ensuring that we are setting the agenda for the ESC integration, and since we are the first proponents still of the integration process. So we are influencing that agenda to ensure that the ESC integration becomes a reality. It leaves the books and the treaties, and it's seen in practice.
Well, we are still looking at the East African community, but with me I have the Undersecretary of the Ministry of East African Affairs, which oversees this very important union of 8 member states, to see how best we can benefit from numbers, but also build a very strong regional bloc. Let's go for a break. We'll return shortly.
Live from UBC studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
The World Football Spectacle is here! From the vibrant cities of Canada, the passion of Mexico, and the grand stages of the United States, the FIFA World Cup 2026 is set to ignite the planet. Every goal, every save, every moment of glory, live and unforgettable on UBC TV and all its radio stations.
From the streets of Rio to the night in Spain.
Follow Africa's finest, football's biggest stars, and the battle for the most converted trophy in world football. Where legends rise, dreams come alive, and history is made. UBC is the home of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Stay tuned to UBC TV and all UBC's radio stations, bringing the world to Uganda, one match at a time.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned or what we have stopped is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner. A nation hungry for truth. A world where every story matters. There exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break, and thank you so much for being with us on UBC TV. I'm still with the Undersecretary, Ministry of East African Affairs, Kajimu Godfrey, with whom we are looking at Kaima Godfrey, with whom we are looking at something very interesting that you should concern yourself, because it concerns you, the East African community, what you need to know about this community and why we should all work together for the growth and strength of this community. There's something I'm looking at, waking up to one day, and I pray the Lord gives me life, and also that process is expedited, having a single currency. One time I traveled to Rwanda, you see, currencies disorganized me. I don't know. How about you? I left with my monies here, then you go to the Forex. I had done some exchange here, but I was like, I wish you had one. You know, even I couldn't bargain properly. Someone tells you this amount, you fear I may say something even much bigger to what they want. So I'm dreaming of that day when I don't know how that currency will look like, but I can move with my money here, go to Kenya, I buy, go to Rwanda, I buy with the same note. But we are back here, and now we've had the East African community, the rebirth of it, for some good time now. We've made some strides, like just you've mentioned, some big steps in terms of free movement of goods, persons and services. We are doing very well. I can move with my national ID and I cross my passport and I move around freely without a visa. But where do you see the future of this community? More so, some of the huge strides that we've not yet achieved, but we plan to.
Moderator, the future is very bright, if I may say that. Very, very, very bright. One, the fact that there is a treaty which was assented to by the heads of states. That in itself implies that there is a spirit to cooperate and to work towards furthering the 4 pillars that are articulated in the treaty. You talked about, and just to reaffirm, for instance, I talked about the summit which took place in March this year, where our president, His Excellency Kaguta Museveni, was elected as the chair of the summit. They agreed on many things, and they were in the interest of furthering the integration agenda. One, they agreed that there must be full resolution of all barriers, non-tariff barriers to trade, such that there is free movement of goods. That was a statement. All the 8 heads of states agree that they must remove all the non-tariff what?
Barriers.
Barriers.
And for simplicity, when you talk about non-tariff barriers, for my view, what are these, Kaima?
Non-tariff barriers are non-tax barriers. They can be administrative, but they inhibit free movement of goods.
Like, if you may give an example.
Well, what can I say?
Roadblocks.
For instance, you can put a number of roadblocks, say 8 roadblocks from Malava to Kampala. And in the process, the free movement, if say there is a trader who is bringing perishable goods from Kenya, because of those 8 roadblocks, then the goods can go bad. So that in itself inhibits free movement of goods, and it interrupts trade. So that's one of the examples which I've talked about. But also you could say now we reach, for instance, Busitema, we open the container. Then it's sealed. Then you drive, you reach Uganda, we have to open the container. You reach, in other words, it is disruptive. It's disruptive of trade. So that was one of the key decisions which was made. The other one was a key decision for the countries to complete consultations regarding the political confederation. You know, political confederation is one of the pillars. But you had talked about the one currency. One of the pillars in the treaty is the monetary union, where we emphasize that at one point the countries of East Africa will have one currency and one central bank. I think we are moving in the right direction regarding that. They advertised, Uganda bidded to host the East African Monetary Institute, IAMI, and the government of Uganda provided land to the Minister of East African Community Affairs, where if our bid is successful, because that was one of the conditions, where if our bid is successful, where we shall build the East African Monetary Institute, and in effect, which will also host the central bank for the 8 partner states. So I'm trying to emphasize that the future of integration and cooperation is very bright, because you know, all issues that are standing in its way have been resolved one by one. But as I said, it may be a slow process. Because it involves many things. Like you will note that each country has its own set of laws, regulations, and all this.
They are sovereign
so
states.
When they are sovereign states, so when they sit and agree, then you have to come back and ensure that we domesticate, we align our laws to the aspirations that are in the community. And you know, the process of making laws is elaborate and highly very consultative. So this is why you may see that some of these processes are very, probably they have taken long, but they are all being addressed. They are all being addressed. So the future is very bright.
Now, the future is very bright. What is demanded of stakeholders, the various stakeholders?
Like I had earlier said, integration is taking place in various spaces. And the mandate of the stakeholders is to align to the processes that are taking place. For instance, I just talked about the legal processes. If, say, for instance, there is a decision which has been made at the community, then the Minister of Justice is supposed to come back here and they take up the amendment of the respective laws to ensure that our laws speak to decisions that have been made. For instance, one of the decisions which was made, for instance, in the summit which I talked about, was an issue to do with the members of EAL, East African Legislative Assembly. We have a parliament that they should be those who are coming at next term. They will be paid their salaries by the respective parliaments. What does that therefore mean? It means that we need to align to amend the treaty to ensure that that is done.
So the countries are the ones that are going to be paying.
Yeah. The respective members of the East African Legislative Assembly. Yeah, effective, that is, I think, December 2027. So, alignment is one of them in terms of, say, domestication of the laws. We have a lot of processes that have been taking place around the standards, harmonization of standards of goods. So now the mandate, for instance, the Uganda Bureau of Standards has to take up that responsibility to ensure that our standards align to the standards that have been decided on in the region. Say that at the end of the day, the people in the region consume goods which are of the same kind of standard. Ministry of Finance is doing its work. Ministry of Trade, you have to ensure that when they have decided about non-tariff barriers and all those, harmonization of tax regimes and all these. So the whole issue is more of alignment. But I think now going forward, we need to hype up the function of public awareness. Like I said, integration is not only taking place for us as Minister of East African Community Affairs, we are only drivers. We are steering. We are coordinating. But the actual integration is taking place in various spaces. So what we may have to do now is to ensure that the respective MDAs can also come here to the studios and talk about what is happening in their various spaces regarding the integration agenda. Because integration agenda is taking place in those spaces, not necessarily in our space. So from the questions you're asking, I've noted that probably we have not been doing much in terms of creating awareness and talking to the public to appreciate that there is this critical ministry which is fighting so hard to ensure that we grow our trade across the regions, but also in an effort to ensure that the Ugandans seize these opportunities, they grow in terms of, they grow their businesses, and we grow our economy, and we all benefit together.
Now, I know you're not into political administration, but just for the concern of many Ugandans that are watching, we've seen at times some of the agreed protocols being, would I call it, violated for reasons that are not very clear. For example, a time when you're told your maize has aflatoxins, your eggs, your milk is rejected in another country. For the benefit of our viewer, how is this handled? Because yes, we've had these standards off, that sometimes they have come past and gone.
Yeah, earlier on I talked about having a secretariat, which is the working arm of the East African Community Affairs. So when there are these issues, they are flagged to the secretariat, and the secretariat now takes it up with the respective partner states. For instance, when we had an issue of traders, Ugandan trucker drivers who are facing some challenges accessing the markets in Sudan, we flagged this issue to the Secretary General, and then the Secretary General, you know, has to take it up with the respective partner states. But also these issues are discussed in the respective organs of the ESC, of the partner states, in the summit, in the council, in the sectoral councils, and the technical meetings, and they are always resolved. They are always resolved.
How are we going to interest the youth to be very passionate about the East African community? I'll take an example. When you look at the other collapsed East African community. Of course, to the youth, many may not know some of this, those have not bothered to read. And then we see a rebirth. In my assessment, when I look at matters of the East African community, they seem to be better understood by people of your age, 2 generations behind you, that are seeming to be pushing for this thing. But so much of youth involvement maybe only comes in for elective offices. But I still believe the vision has not sunk so much in the young generation. I know your assessment. Sometimes I see our president as very visionary, very focused, but also you feel like he's kind of pulling. There are many things you hear him talk about, the spirit of East Africa. But then you find that, I want to mention certain people, but you find that he seems to be trying to bring and push for something where maybe others are not getting the vision as clearly as he has it.
Moderator, I'm not sure whether I'm a youth.
No, definitely. No, let me just clarify that for you. Mr. Kaiban, you're not a youth.
Maybe I look a youth, but I'm not. But the point I want to say is that Uganda and like the rest of the other East African community countries, we have a youthful population. So whether you want it or not, all the interventions that are being put in place, they are targeting the youth, because that's the population that we have. The demographics tells us it's a youthful population in the East African community partner states. But probably the whole question is about how do they get actively involved and engaged, and for them to appreciate this agenda so that they can further it. I want to tell you that recently, this is about this month, 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, there was a sectoral council on social affairs. But before that sectoral council on social affairs, or before any council or sectoral council takes place, there are a lot of preparations which take place. So we brought youths together. We consulted the youths in a meeting. I remember we sat at the Innovation Hub in Nakawa. We consulted them. They raised their concerns, they raised their demands, they raised their priorities, which they wanted articulated in the sectoral council. And their input informed the report, the country report, which was presented by Uganda. So just to say that the youths are participating, we are not leaving them behind, we are moving with them, we are engaging them, and you will note that we even have youth ambassadors who are champions of the East African Community Affairs. Probably if you don't even know, I wish to tell you that I think in all the schools of Uganda, they sing the East African anthem.
You've now opened a tin of worms.
They sing the East African anthem. And all these are youths. Yes.
I love the way, not even love, but sometimes it is laughable in some areas when you look at people, when you hear people sing the East African anthem. One time I attended a high-profile conference, and had it not been the DJ playing it, I don't know how many Ugandans can sing a stanza.
You asked me about the youths. I told you in schools.
In schools.
In schools, the East African Community Anthem is appreciated and it is sung articulately. Okay. So again, now the challenge that you have raised is an issue of more of creating awareness.
Yes, yes.
Of course, you may say that it's not only the East African anthem. I may also say that there are many Ugandans who may not be able to sing the national anthem.
By the way, talk about.
Yes.
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 There are many Ugandans
who may not. But the good thing is that we are all in it together. We, as a government, one of the pillars of the NDP is patriotism. One of the pillars, patriotism. So once we take the message of patriotism down to the common person, I think all these things would be more appreciated.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for your time, and of course, above all, our viewer. You've been with us all the way from 6:30 till now with my guest, who's been speaking so much about the East African community and the member states, what we must do to ensure we continuously grow this community to benefit all the 8 member states. Now, I must let you go, but before I do, your final remarks.
Thank you so much, my host, for giving me this opportunity to come in the studios and talk about this very important subject of the East African community integration agenda. I just want to emphasize that we need everyone on board. We are in it together. Integration is for all of us. Once we embrace integration and you act integration, the benefits are enormous. So I want to invite everyone to support the integration agenda, and more so really to thank the President, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for being a champion of integration. Really, he has, in all his speeches, he talks about integration as a key pillar for economic transformation. So I want to invite everyone to embrace that, say that we can reap benefits from it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kaima Godfrey, who is the Undersecretary, Ministry of East African Affairs. Thank you so much for your time, and of course, letting the Ugandans know more about this ministry, and above all, the East African community, what we must do to ensure that it benefits all of us. Because numbers is power. And when you use these numbers very well, we know our bloc will grow and continue like some regional groups, blocks that are very, very strong. Have the best of your day. See you tomorrow, God willing. Good morning.
Live from UBC studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Football spectacle is here! From the vibrant cities of Canada, the passion of Mexico, and the grand stages of the United States, the FIFA World Cup 2026 is set to ignite the planet. Every goal, every save, every moment of glory, live and unforgettable on UBC TV and all its radio stations.
From the streets of Rio to the night and day.
Follow Africa's finest, football's biggest stars, and the battle for the most converted trophy in world football. Where legends rise, dreams come alive, and history is made. UBC is the home of the FIFA World Cup 2020. Stay tuned to UBC TV and all UBC's radio stations, bringing the world to Uganda, one match at a time.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads, individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate and we can't ban it. What we have banned or what we have stopped is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels,